There are many ways of catching lobster here in South Florida, but this has to be one of my favorites. Catching these lobster at night with bright lights and big nets is one of the most effective ways of getting them, and it makes for an awesome time out on the water.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another Maritime Expedition. We're out here now at the Bullynetting grounds. We got Derek here, who's gonna be captaining us, and Patrick, the master bully netter behind us. We're ready to get going, but we're gonna show you guys how we set everything up. We've got our cages to put our lobster in when we get them. We've got our lights set up here. Got to make sure your light bulb's protected on that run over. Got a little pool noodle on that guy, but this is gonna help us see these lobster tonight, because without a light, obviously you're not gonna see very well in the water. This light is super, super bright, and it's gonna give us a good radiation around the boat that we're gonna be able to see a lot of them walking up and hopefully get a lot in the boat real quick. What do we gotta do?
Well, you gotta put that light together, hook everything to the generator. We also have a ballast for the light. There's like a whole process.
All right, well, let's start doing it. Main key right here is getting our generator set up, and we've got it all ready to go. So we're gonna crank her on up now. Now we're ready.
Minute and a half until we're ready to start sticking. We're actually seeing lobster just sitting right here, right below us, right when we turn the lights on. So that's always a good sign. Let's see what we can get done.
I apologize for the noise of the generator. It's probably a little loud, but that's something you got to deal with when you're out here. We are getting started. It's officially midnight, and we are ready to get some bugs here. Got Derek up on the front, Patrick up here behind me too, and we're ready to get some bugs. Bug number one, baby, let's go. All right, took us some time, had some light issues, but we're finally in them. Got lobster number one in the boat, measured, and he is good to go. Legal lobster. Excited to finally get the night started. We had a little bit of light issues, like I said. And there's number two.
Here we go.
Bring him to me, come on. Let's see him, let's see him. I ain't got no gloves today, so I gotta be careful with these guys, but this guy, plenty legal, beautiful Florida lobster out here at night getting it done. It's a good size one there. Getting it done right now on the Bullynetting. These guys are getting it done, but I gotta hop in because I gotta catch some, or else what am I doing out here? Let's see if we can get this guy. Get a little closer. That's impossible.
Oh my.
One right in front of us here. We're gonna hold our string here. Straight down on him. Definitely got him that time. There we go. My first one on the season. Get a look at this guy. He looks like he's legal. Definitely gonna check him out here. Yep, that'll do it. Good looking lobster. Going in the bucket. Ain't no short.
Whoa.
He's good.
Close.
He'll be all right. Flooding. Ow. He's good. Yep. These lobster, the reason we're out here at night is because these lobster actually walk around at night, and they call it walking because they're walking these shallow flats where you're able to see them pretty good because they're looking for food. During the day, they hide in the reef and they don't really move around that much. They hide and stay away from predators, and that's their defense mechanism. But at night, they come out, they feed, and they use the moonlight. Luckily tonight is a full moon, which just so happened to work perfect. We can see them even a little better, and they're a little more active on the full moon as well, just like every other fish. And we're gonna be able to get a bunch of them here, and hopefully real soon. Got an eagle ray right here under us. That's pretty cool. All sorts of stuff you see out here on these flats at night. That was a sponge.
This one again?
A sponge.
Yeah?
If it was small though.
They're always small when you miss them, right?
Yeah.
Woohoo! What I like to do when we get these lobster is when you don't have gloves on, they're really spiny and their legs are sharp and they got these real pointy legs on them. And the bottom of their tail is obviously super spiny too. That's why they call them spiny lobster. There's all sorts of ways they can grab you. So what I like to do, fold the tail in and just hold them by the tail. And then they have no way of really getting you. Then you grab your measurer out. This guy's clearly legal, but I like to check them all anyway. And that's lobster number 8, I think, right now. Doing pretty good. Let's get him in the crate. Oh.
Yeah.
There you go, Pat.
Is it? No hesitation.
Derek checking our lobsters, making sure we're good. Just got 2 more. Beauty. Doing pretty good right now. The wind's starting to pick up on us a little bit here, making it really hard to see. But again, like we saw on that opening day of mini season this year, it's been pretty tough. And there's not a lot of boats out tonight. Thought that would increase our chances a little bit, but it's still been really hard to find these lobster. I don't know if they're just not in yet, or they're not here, or what the deal is. Could just be one of those years, but we're picking through them, man. It is getting really bumpy out here right now. I don't know how much of that you guys can see, but we are on a very little boat, and it is full of stuff. We got the generator there. I'm sure it's loud, but and those waves are coming in, and that just makes it really difficult to see. I'm sure it's really windy too, but it just makes it really difficult to see for us out here when you're trying to spot a lobster, you know, 5-6 feet away, and the light's bobbing in and out of the water. It really makes it tough. But oh my gosh, about to fall off the platform here, but we're gonna try and get a couple more before we have to call it a night. But it's getting late, it's getting rough, so I'm gonna put the camera down. All right, long night, 3 in the morning right now. We worked hard for them, but we got a couple, got 2, almost 3 limits worth, so we're happy. We'll take what we can get, but we're gonna start heading home. We've been dodging storms all night, wind and rain and weather, and just been one of those days, but to bring home a bunch of lobster like that makes it all worth it. So we're gonna make the trek back home, get these guys cleaned up, and get some much needed sleep, but we'll see you guys then. Okay, well, after a very long night, luckily Sophie got to miss out on that little adventure we had.
I needed my sleep, so I didn't partake in the event.
We didn't get home. I woke her up at 5 a.m. when I got here, which is pretty brutal, but needless to say, we're ready for a good dinner. I brought the food home. Now it's time for you to put it on the table, so let's see what you got.
I need some help.
I'm gonna help you out.
Luckily, it's pretty easy, straightforward, so I think you're gonna help with the main aspect of it, and I think I'll do the rest.
Yeah. So this recipe is one that is super easy to make with just about anything that you have in the fridge. It's really simple, and that's one of the reasons I love it so much. We're doing a lobster salad, which can go 2 ways. You can make it into a dip with crackers, which we like a lot for like appetizers and different stuff, or tonight, how we're gonna do it with a little brioche bun and making a little sandwich out of it. So we're gonna show you how we do it. We got our 3 lobster tails here. I am going to bring them over and start boiling some water. I already have some water in the pot here, and I would have skipped this step, but I want to show you guys. You really want to make this water as salty as possible, like a pasta or anything else. You really want this to taste like seawater. So you might think that's an excessive amount of salt, but you really want to make those lobster taste like they're in the salt water you caught them, just about. We're gonna boil these lobster for about 7-8 minutes, and I'm gonna get started cutting up the vegetables that are gonna go in. I'm gonna cut up some red onion. I'm gonna start cutting those bell peppers.
I'll start with the celery.
Start with celery, okay.
I'll definitely pass on cutting up the onion because I cry. I don't know how many people do. I know it happens to a lot of people, but my eyes get so watery cutting onions, so if I don't have to cut them, I'll prefer not to, for sure.
Yeah. Like I said, this recipe, a lot of the time you just have this stuff on hand in your fridge, which is kind of nice. So you don't really have to go shopping for it necessarily. I like that it's a lot of simple ingredients and it's super refreshing, super tasty, and just something easy to make. So
I'm not gonna lie to you, even sitting here, it's burning my eyes.
you're already burning your eyes?
Yes, and I'm not even cutting it. I'm like starting to tear up, so. But anyway, like Charles said, one thing I do like about this recipe is that it's very versatile. So we can do like a dip, like he said, with some crackers, or we can do into like a sandwich. And as much as I love every other lobster recipe that we've made, this is one of my favorites because sometimes you just want something light and refreshing. And I like that this recipe is one where you can really taste the lobster because you'll see later, it doesn't really take too much sauce. And just all these veggies just freshen it up, so it's really good.
Now my eyes are burning.
You see, it's not just
Woo!
me.
That's
I'm sure it affects a lot of other people
holy
too.
smokes, that's a potent onion right there. But I cut one really large red onion here. We only are gonna need half of that. That's more than plenty. Just cutting up the celery. We've got our red onion here. I like to buy the pack of the different bell peppers. Supposedly they all are the same or taste the same. I don't buy it. I like to get all three. Add some nice color either way. And then I like to add in a little bit of jalapeno, totally optional, up to you. I like mine spicy, and a little bit of lime. Helps kind of cure that lobster. Even though we're boiling it, adds a really nice flavor. And we got our bunch of seasonings and stuff over there that we're gonna get to, but we're gonna chop up all our vegetables right now. Pot's almost ready with the water, so we're gonna drop our lobster in pretty soon.
So we got our water with lots of salt like Charles added, ready to go. So we're gonna grab our 3 tails. We're just gonna plop them in. Like Charles says, it'll take about 7 to 8 minutes. And then after that, we'll take them out, strain them, cut them up, and mix them with everything we cut up.
I love how they turn red like instantly like that.
Yeah,
So crazy.
there's one floating though, so I'm gonna push him down a little.
Make sure he's in that water.
He doesn't want to stay down there. I might have to hold it here for a good 8 minutes.
Oh gosh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
The house smells like a lobster.
It really does,
Your
but
favorite-
it's all for a good cause.
Your
I do
favorite
love,
thing.
I love the smell of lobster, but I'm sure the smell went everywhere, not just in the kitchen.
In my opinion, the smell of lobster, you know, a little fishy, a little oceany, but it smells good to me. I don't know. I don't mind
Hey,
the house
I'm not
smelling
saying
like
it's
this.
a bad smell.
We should get like a lobster scented candle.
That's
think
not a good idea.
That's like a thing the guys would like, but I don't know.
I don't think you want your house or your room smelling like lobster. Back me up, people.
That's
Back me
where
up.
that's where I disagree with you. But let's get this thing cut up. They are really hot, so we're gonna let them sit for just a minute. We're gonna cut them up.
Ready. Watch the fingers.
I already cut myself. Don't need to get the whole finger this time. Just split them right down the middle. You shouldn't see any like clear skin in there. It should just be pure white. None of that clear stuff. Any clear stuff means it's not cooked all the way and you want to drop them back in. But this one's ready to go. Cut them in half. Pop our knife in and just pull them right out. Real simple. We're gonna take our lobster. You can cut it however thin or thick you like it. I kind of like bigger chunks. I try and keep it somewhat similar size to what my vegetables are. So, not crazy big chunks, nothing you're gonna choke on or anything, but good chunks of lobster. You definitely don't want to make this beautiful lobster and miss it in between all the vegetables because it's the same size or smaller than it. So we like to keep them pretty big, little rough chop like that. Okay, so we got our lobster all cut up. Nice and beautiful right there.
Smells amazing.
Oh, dropped the piece. That's gonna go right in the bowl here. I like to start out with the lobster first.
So we're not doing exact measurements here, but I'll give you guys an idea just of what we have cut up, what we're putting in it. So like you saw, we have 3 lobster tails. We did half of a jalapeno, about 3 pieces of celery. We did 1/4 of an onion and half of each pepper. Just so you have an idea of how much. That's what we're thinking we're gonna use. We may not use all of it, but that's what we cut according to our 3 lobsters. So of course,
It's a lot of feel.
Yeah, if you have more lobster, you may need a little more.
Yeah.
Or if you have, you know, less lobster, you do a tiny little single serve salad. I mean,
That's how it goes. But I like to start with the lime. Get your lobster, your lime squeezer, and I put 1 whole lime to start, just to have a baseline right there. A base lime. Sorry. Okay.
you're so punny.
That's terrible. I'm gonna keep squeezing this here. Got our lime in there now. Then I go in with the peppers. You wanna have the peppers in there?
Yeah. With my hands?
Come on.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It's not.
Don't cut me now.
I won't.
I can't take another
Another injury?
injury
Another
today.
injury for the day?
Yeah.
Oops.
Hey, jeez.
Sorry.
She's trying to kill me.
No, I'm not. Pretty easy. Like we said, we do like to taste the lobster in our salad. So we're not using too many condiments. Along with the lime, we're adding a little bit of mayo. We don't want it to be too much mayo. It's just kind of to help everything come together better.
Coagulate.
Yeah, coagulate.
So, salt and pepper, garlic. The 3 holy trinity of condiments, seasonings, spices. We're gonna get a little bit of each in there. Nice, and incorporate it. And then we got this fancy schmancy mayo from Walmart, because we're fancy like that. And it's like all natural mayo. So we're gonna use that instead of store-bought junk.
I'm excited.
So we're gonna put like a little more than a tablespoon in there and get it nice and mixed up. I'll let you use your fancy
I'm gonna
spoon.
use the spoon.
Show us how that's looking. Let me get a good look at that. It reminds me a lot of like a conch salad that you get in the Bahamas, in Bimini.
It looks
conch
amazing.
shack. But the smell, the flavor, it's just
the colors,
so...
the crunchiness of it.
Yeah, very
is
crunchy.
The best.
Just very good for the beach, or like if you're on the boat on a really hot day. This is what you want on a hot day.
Yeah.
And it has been scorching hot here lately.
Even looking at it, you could tell it definitely doesn't have a lot of mayo because
Yeah.
I feel like if it was like...
You don't want to load it with mayo. This isn't
Yeah.
like a New England lobster roll that we're going for. We really more want it like a salad or a ceviche.
Right.
So this can be a dip, but we're gonna use a little bit of his dip. We'll try it out with the cracker, but then we're gonna make it in the nice brioche roll that we got.
I got it right here.
Let's see it. Product placement.
Walmart
So.
brioche.
We're gonna plate this up, get it in a bowl, and then we're gonna make some sandwiches and try them out. Us Floridians do what we can with our Florida lobster, and we throw our own little spice into it. And I think this is right up there with the New England lobster roll. Obviously completely different, but that's just a beautiful looking sandwich right there. So I'm gonna get Sophie and mine all set up here. All right, moment of truth. What do you think?
I'm excited to try both. Like I said, this is a very versatile recipe. You can have it by itself. Like we have it here with some crackers. You can eat it even without crackers and just eat it like a ceviche.
Yeah.
And you can also do like a little sandwich, which is what we did here. So, I'm excited to try both.
I'm going in first because I stayed up till 5 in the morning to get these things, and my cousin took 6 because we didn't get our full limit. So I only got 3 out of a whole night of staying up that late.
So we're making the 3 of them count.
I'm gonna enjoy this.
You go in on that, and I'm gonna grab our sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Come on now. My Maine lobster people, you all haven't tried this, you don't know. So good.
The crunchiness is like perfect. Lobsters and chewy. It's like the perfect amount of everything. So like we said, we didn't perfectly measure things out.
Yeah.
Someone can't keep eating the dip.
And this recipe changes like every time you make it.
Right.
You might add a little stuff to it, a little different. Change it up. Maybe you like it spicier, add more jalapeno. Maybe you don't, more lime juice. You can do whatever you want with it. That's the cool thing about the recipe. That's why it's so simple, quick and easy to make. I grew up eating this stuff, you know, when we had lobster lying around, and said, what kind of crazy lunch can we make today? And we threw together some lobster salad, and it's always good.
And it's pretty easy. Like you said, a lot of these things you could already have in your fridge.
Go
At least
ahead.
put this there.
No, you can keep
No,
talking.
hold it. Oh, but I want to try with the chips. With the crackers.
I'm gonna cook this one.
So I guess what I'm saying is like the celery and the onion and the peppers, they're things that you're more likely to have in your fridge. Someone's really enjoying their sandwich.
I told you I was gonna enjoy this thing.
So it's fairly easy. Again, the harder thing to get is the lobster, as I'm sure
Obviously.
you could see. It was a little scarce out there. But yeah, it's pretty easy, straightforward. You just have to boil the lobsters, cut everything else up, and that's it.
Bob's your uncle. Well, we appreciate you guys watching. I know we missed Sophie in that video, but there was no way I was getting her to stay out with me till 5 in the morning. That's just not gonna happen. So, hope you enjoyed. The fellas in there, Derek, Patrick, Sean, and I had a great time. Dodged all the storm, the rain, everything, but it's all worth it when you get to enjoy a beautiful lobster sandwich like that. So,
Glorious.
I don't know if I'm gonna give you these back, but
Wow.
we're gonna keep eating, and thank you guys for watching the videos. Love making them for you. As always, stay tuned with what we got going on.
Like and subscribe.
There we go. Take my line, that's fine. Like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.
See ya.